Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Black Digital Media TV. As you know, I'm Laurent Barber, and I have my wonderful co-host Gina, and we have a beautiful, excellent guest that we are so happy to have on today. We're really excited. We've been planning this for a while because we really wanted to hear what Mrs. Karla Luster has to say. Karla Luster, she's a spiritual coach, and I've had a chance to kind of go over some of her material. And I think she's definitely an expert in her field. So we're definitely looking forward to hearing what she has to say. And well, Black Digital Media, what this whole platform, as you know, is about bringing on Black businesses, and we're supporting Black businesses, adding another digital media to the digital media platform to promote Black businesses. And we think Mrs. Karla definitely has an excellent business to promote. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Gina, and Gina will finish introducing her, and we'll be on with the show. Gina?
All right. Thanks, Laurent. So, like Laurent said, we have Karla Luster on the show, and I've been following Karla on Facebook and Instagram for a while, and she has an amazing following. She has an amazing message, and I knew that I absolutely had to have her on the show. And it took us a while to finally, get things concrete, but here she is today. So, Karla, thank you so much for joining us. One of the things that really caught my attention when I was going through some of your material was the term unleash your unique genius. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that today. So Karla, I'm going to turn it over to you and explain a little bit what do you really mean by unleashing your unique genius?
Yeah, it's so funny because that's probably a statement that needs maybe like some editing so that it's more obvious. But everybody has a unique mix of skills and abilities and just this essence that is who they are. And when we unleash our unique genius, it just allows us to be more us in the world. And ironically, it sounds like it's so easy, right? Just be yourself. But so many of us, especially as leaders and as people that have a unique voice and have something that we desire to contribute to the world that makes the world a better place or just makes it a happier place or just makes it a more diverse place. A lot of us encounter these experiences or have some level of wanting to make it fit in, right? So when it comes to allowing your just uniqueness to pour out into the world, it's simple. It is typically just allowing some of that deconditioning to fall off so that you can really show up in the world and allow just you to come out. And that is one of the most transformational experiences. And that is something that all of us as humans, and then especially, like I said, for leaders, something that we have to do in order to really contribute what it is that we have to contribute to the world.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting that you said that because when I was teaching art and sculpture at a private school, one of the courses that we kind of had to take it was all about the different geniuses that all the students had. And we had to learn how each individual student learned on their own, because we tend to think, okay, we're teaching one style to 28 students, but half of them probably are not getting it because we're only teaching in one particular style. So a student who might be visual, we're basically speaking, they're not, all of that, those words are kind of going over their head. So that was a huge eye opener for me. And I got the biggest compliment from the head mistress when she came into my classroom one time. And I would go to one student and I would work with that student in one way. This is when I really learned how to do this thing. And then I would go to another student and I would completely switch my mindset and work with that student in the way they learned. And that was a huge eye opener for me. It's like every child does have a different way of learning the same material. And once you grasp that, you become you really learn how to connect with people on their level, So when I saw your unique genius, that's the first thing that popped into my head was when I was a teacher and learning all of that stuff. I think Karla's kind of frozen. LaRon, I think you're muted.
Yeah, she got kicked off there, so hopefully she'll come back. But definitely, I was, like you said, her being like a spiritual coach and that sort. So I was definitely interested in wanting to hear her talking about what she would do to motivate individuals that when they come to her, how does she use, spirituality and what she does? 'Cause I know she's a fitness person as well too. And how does she see those two things coming together? So
Yeah,
that was definitely one of the things I'd like to see her talk about as well too. Mm-hmm.
yeah, because I remember when I was talking about those individual students, I'm going to send her a message real quick to let her know that she can
Yeah.
just
Okay. Come
back
on
on.
back. Yeah.
But when I
Mm-hmm.
was working with all of these individual students, and when you really
Mm-hmm.
learn, okay, that particular student learns by hearing, this
Right.
particular student, you actually have to show,
Mm-hmm.
and once you get those, yeah, it really opens up all of the different
Right.
avenues to these students.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just send her a message real quickly, letting her know she can just click back on.
Yeah, she's got a lot of great material
Yeah,
out
and
on her different medias,
and Karla, if you're watching, you can still go ahead and just click back on the same link that we sent,
Yeah, and you can come back in that way.
and then you can come back in.
Mm-hmm. All these little technical difficulties always come up. You have to always unexpectedly kind of expect one or two to come up at any given moment like that, but definitely.
Welcome to technology. Yeah, she's I see that she's checking it, so we should have her back on here momentarily. But one of the things she talks so much about, give me 1 second. She sent a voice message.
Okay. Yeah, if you hit mute, then that way it doesn't hear what she's saying.
I'm not hearing her, but I think she should have gotten my message to come back on.
Okay.
But yeah, some of the material that I saw in there, working. I think some of what a part of her background was, she was in human resources prior to actually becoming a fitness coach and becoming a spiritual coach. So I'm really keen on hearing about how that background in human resources kind of guided her towards what she's doing right now. And one of the favorite quotes that I have from her is a term that we, as kids, we grew up hearing. And I'm gonna let her expound on that a little bit. Let me go ahead and mute myself real quick and listen.
Okay. Well, I guess while we're having that little bit of technical difficulty, actually our guest, Karla Luster, she was here with us. Obviously, her line was dropped. And so we're definitely trying to get her back on at this moment. So that's the issue that we're having. But we look to have her back on here shortly. As long as everything with her communications is good, we'll have her back. So Gina's just checking her phone to kind of see what if there's any voice message that she just left her as well too. But definitely, like I said, the whole point of this platform, Black Digital Media, is we promote Black businesses, and we just want to definitely again be a voice for the Black community, give everyone a chance. You don't have to be a TV star, you don't have to be a big personality, anything like that. Just come on and let's talk about business. How do we work together to promote each other's digital platforms, and actually how to work with one another? So, and I think the way that we grow each other's digital platform is by these type of opportunities right here. So if it's anyone out there want to come on and talk about their business, we're more than happy to have you come on and be with us. And if you offer, then we can work with you as well too. But the whole idea is that the way that we build our community is we begin to build our Black digital platforms so that we can market each other's business and just talk about everybody's talents that's in our communities. We don't have to always go outside of our communities to find expertise. We have all those expertise right here in our community. So that's what this platform is about, Black Digital Media. Not limited to, but that's definitely our main focus. That's our primary focus, is to talk about Black businesses. So if you got a Black business, legitimate Black businesses, come on, we want to have you. We have very vast backgrounds. Gina, she's got some great news to mention at some point about her viewership. She hit a huge milestone. So that's what we're all about, and that's what we're so happy. So if I mentioned it, Gina, you want to talk about that as well? So, or make
okay, but an update on Karla. She is having some technical issues with her device, which it started overheating, so it automatically kicked her off. So we're trying to have a problem with that. What we're going to do is I mentioned to her that we can just reschedule for a later date at a time when it's going to be convenient for her. So we're going to go ahead and excuse Karla from this particular episode, and we'll just we can talk about our business, because we haven't really talked much about what you do or what I do. So we can we can switch gears here, right?
We can talk about it.
Whenever we get the new date for Karla to come on, we will let you know. We'll update you on that. All right.
Yes.
So like Laurent said, yes, I was checking my YouTube channel. I don't know what came up that we decided, well, let me check my viewership on YouTube. And when I looked, and it said I had over 1.25 million views?
Yes,
something like that. And I thought, wow.
Yes.
So my YouTube channel has been growing quite a bit. I didn't start my YouTube channel till maybe 8 years ago, I think. I really started to get serious about the YouTube channel maybe 5 years ago, because I uploaded a couple videos and I just kind of left them there. And by the time I came back and thought, let me really get serious about this YouTube channel, I had thousands and thousands of views on these 2 videos that I had posted up there. So then I gradually, started to build it from there. And that's my main, I guess, where most of my views come from. I do have quite a bit of following on my YouTube pages, because I did start a lupus page. I want to say maybe 8 years ago now, when I was diagnosed with lupus. And I was looking for more natural ways of healing my body, and I realized that there were other people out there who were searching for the same thing, but it wasn't available. So I said, well, if it's not there, I'm going to do something about that, and actually create it myself.
Wow.
So I started the lupus page, where I was sharing all of the different natural remedies that I was working with to heal my body. And as I shared them, I would get people who started to follow the page, and then they would say, oh, I've been looking for something like this. I have been taking all of these prescription drugs, and all they're doing is just making me sicker and sicker, and I really needed some other stuff. And I'm so glad that you started this platform. So it gradually grew from there. I think it's almost at 2,000 followers right now, but the material, there's a lot of material. Lots of material is on there. I've gone on and I've done last year, when COVID hit, of course, and everyone was kind of stuck indoors for a little bit. I started doing an art therapy. I guess I did like 30 days of art therapy. And all of those videos are still there. I am an art therapy life coach, certified art therapy life coach. So there's a lot of videos that are on there where you can go and just follow along. It's just very, very easy. Little, I don't want to call them projects, but they're very, very simple therapeutic projects that you can do if you're having a stressful day. Just, sit down and do one of these. And all you have to do is just look for art therapy, my name under the lupus page, right? So you'll find those. I also do a lot of work with nutrition. When I was first diagnosed, that was the biggest thing. The biggest switch I made was taking a serious look at the foods that I was eating, because what goes into your mouth basically becomes you, right? So if you're feeding yourself foods that are considered to be a slow form of poison, you're literally making yourself sick, even though it might take you 10 years before you realize, right? Because a lot of the times these autoimmune conditions don't necessarily manifest right after you eat, something that's really bad for you. It can take 5 years or it can take 10 years. But at some point, it is going to show up in your body as some form of illness, right? So I started to really look at what I was eating, and I, started to really add in a lot of anti-inflammatory foods. And years later, of course, this was actually it was a few months ago, but it took me a couple of years. This was, and I jokingly say that I went to college, I got myself a 4-year degree, but this vegan nutritionist course was probably by far harder than any college degree that I've done. So I did get certified as a vegan. I became a vegan over a year ago, but I've been a vegetarian and vegan on and off for 15 plus years.
Wow.
Right. But I decided last year, or the year before last, I got a nudge to become vegan for 2020, which I did. But I've been working on a vegan nutritionist course, and I finally got that certification at the end of this past year. So I work with food as a form of medicine as well, not just, a lot of people, they eat, but they don't necessarily think about, well, what is this food doing for my body? Right? What kind of nutrition is it providing for my body? And don't get me wrong, I am not perfect when it comes to eating. I like my snacks periodically. I like my bag of chips. So don't start sending me all these messages saying, no, I am not perfect. However, I try really hard to make sure that what goes into my body is something that's going to be healthy and nutritious for me. I was I think we spoke about this, right? Saying how I got this craving for bread. Was it that last week?
You mentioned that.
I did mention that to you when I said I sat down and I ate like 3 slices of bread with peanut butter on it. And I know what bread does to me.
Yeah.
So I knew that come the next day or 3 days from there, I am going to pay for it.
Wow. Yeah.
And I did. But it's, so I'm saying that because I'm not perfect. So I know that you chances are you can't go through life just, eating everything organic and everything, sticking to a perfect diet. Trust me, I know it is the hardest thing to do. So I admit I sat down and I ate the 3 slices of bread with the peanut butter, and it did. About 2 or 3 days later, I did see the difference. I felt it in my fingers. My fingers did get swollen, but with me now that I am familiar with what I need to do to get that out of my body. Yes, I craved the bread and I indulged in the bread, but I also know what I need to do to detox from those things. Right. And a lot of people don't necessarily know that because I'm also a master herbalist. So I know what particular herbs I need to put together to drink. And I do have a detox tea that I drink on a regular basis. So when I begin to feel certain things in my body, I know that, okay, I need to do this and I need to drink this. And I think that's part of it, is becoming really in tune to your body. A lot of people don't necessarily pay attention enough to their body, because your body talks to you every single day.
It does talk to you. Yes. Yeah.
Every day. It sends out messages to you at any given moment, but not many of us are in tune with our bodies.
Yeah. It's funny that you say this. One thing I learned about that part, once I began to lose weight, because I lost about 50 pounds almost at one point, but I had to go through a strict regimen in terms of my dieting, just eating healthy, eating smart, eating healthy, and just doing a little bit of exercise. But one of the things that I learned from that is, just like you said, I learned my body. I learned exactly what my body needs. I learned how my body works in terms of losing weight, what things I can eat, what things I cannot eat. But definitely, you eat healthy, you eat healthy, you eat good, you eat smart. To me, the key to losing weight: eat healthy, eat smart.
Yeah.
Certain times of day you cannot eat, because you can't like eat cheeseburgers and hamburgers at 11 o'clock at night and then go to bed and think, your body, I mean, just like we like to go to the workout room and we work out with the muscles, we work out with this, we exercise. Your body really fights and it works for you when you're sleeping. But if
Yeah.
you load it up with burgers and fries and these things, your body's saying, are you kidding me? It can't work that stuff out. So when you eat smart, I know one of the guys that was at my work, he says he was on all these diets. And he says nothing works. I says, well, you're exactly right. Diets do not work.
Right.
How you lose weight is a lifestyle change. You have to make a commitment to eating healthy, eating smart, and just being good to your body. If you're going to eat anything heavy, one of the things that I found out is you need to eat that heavy stuff early in the day, 1, 2 o'clock. Then that way you're burning it off, working off. Come in the evenings, then you eat healthy, you eat smart, going to bed. You're giving your body a fighting chance, because you've already burned off a lot of that bad stuff that you've already been eating, but you're giving your body a good chance to fight for you and work for you. Your body works out for you at night, just like you in the weight room. It really
Yeah.
does. But if you give it all this food, all this junk, it can't work for you. Your body's like, I can't do this for you. So you're just like really making your body work overtime, and it's not going to work out. Then you're wondering why you're not losing weight. But your body does talk to you. It was kind of interesting. I started drinking a lot of water, but you listen to what your body wants. Your body will tell you what it's craving. You're craving water. You're craving vegetables. You want something healthy. Every now and then you may get off track, but your body then tells you, okay, that's enough of that stuff. Get back on track. When you do that, your body rewards you. And how does it reward you? You get energy. You feel rested. You just feel more vibrant. So you got to really just listen to your body, just like you do everything else. Listen to your body. But you begin to learn your body when you start eating healthy, eating smart. Then you start learning what your body, like. For me, I can't eat bread. I can't eat pasta and all that stuff all the time. That just doesn't work for me.
Yeah. And you said something.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna I'm gonna kind of develop those a little bit. But one of the things, you're a tech guy.
Yes.
One of the things I've always said is food is information.
Yes.
Whatever you're putting into your body, that's a bit
Mhm.
of information that you're feeding to your body. And your
Yes.
body interprets that information and says, okay, she just gave me a piece of bread. What am I going to do with this piece of bread? It's going to get broken down into whatever it gets broken down into, all of these different chemicals. And a lot of these chemicals aren't necessarily really good for your body. So
No.
it says,
No.
okay, she just fed me bread. What am I going to do with this? I'm going to turn this bread into inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that
Mm-hmm.
piece of information that I put in basically becomes inflammation in my joints or wherever. But the
Mm-hmm.
bottom line is, I fed my body that piece of information. We all come in with a particular hardware already, we're
Yes.
already
Yeah.
hardwired into our body, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the software that we feed our bodies, that food, that's the software. We have a choice what kind of software we want to feed our bodies,
Yes. Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Sometimes we feed it good software. Sometimes we feed it software that carries all kinds of viruses and things that we're not supposed to, like the bread, right?
Yeah. Well.
So I kind of try to look at food as being information. Whatever you
Oh
put
yeah.
in, your body takes it and breaks it down and does what it needs to, sends out all of the different signals and,
Mm-hmm.
sends that information to all of the different parts of your body, that especially that little minute thing called the cell, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if our
Mm-hmm.
cell doesn't get the proper information that it needs, it's eventually going to backfire on us. And we got
Oh yeah.
trillions and
Definitely.
trillions of cells
Yeah.
in our
Definitely.
bodies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Mm-hmm.
when the cells start to break down, of course, we have dis-ease, which leads to disease eventually. That's where we get the word disease from, is from dis-ease, when you basically don't feel so
Mm-hmm.
good.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really figure out what's going on, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I like to look at food as being the, kind of the software that we put into our body. Now, you did mention rest and repair, and that is the truth. That's huge when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to anybody who is whether you're dealing with a chronic illness or not, sleep is really, really important,
Very
because
important.
it is only during sleep that
Mhm.
we have the rest and repair taking place. Your
Mhm.
repair cannot take place when you're walking around and doing stuff. All of the repair in your body takes place when you're sleeping.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you
You know,
have
and
to get adequate sleep.
yeah, and I learned that when I was taking care of my body, whatever things I did that day that was beneficial to me as the body to take care of it. When I rested that night, the next day, my body had a different positive reaction. But it was after I slept a good night rest, you know? And that's when I learned that your body really works for you at night when you're sleeping, just like you're running and exercising. Your body works just that hard. But you can't, like I said, you can't just feed it cake, burgers and fries at 11 o'clock at night and go to sleep and think that's going to work. That is not going to
Right.
work, you know? But I like what you did when you talked about that. You talked about software and hardware. I'm the tech guy. And
I know
so
you like.
Gina knows the easiest way to relate and associate practicality to me is put it in terms of technology. And I'm like, yeah, I got you. Yeah, you talking.
Yeah, but I thought you like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, I did love that.
Yeah.
Good job, good
Um,
job, good
you,
job.
you also mentioned
Hmm.
exercise and movement. Now,
Yes. Oh, yeah.
you kind of mentioned the whole running thing, but for people who have a chronic illness,
Hmm.
running is like that's the last thing that you're going to be able to do.
Right.
Even walking for a lot of
Hmm.
people when you have a chronic illness, that's hard. But when we talk about exercise for
Hmm.
somebody who is dealing with a chronic illness, exercise might be just sitting on the edge of the bed and just lifting up your legs off of the edge of the bed,
Right.
or taking
Right.
your arms and trying to raise them up above your head.
Hmm.
The idea is to move your body, not necessarily to go out and run a half a marathon or even to run a 5K. That's
Right.
not the idea when we're talking about movement. For
Hmm.
some
Hmm.
people, yes, you can, like I've gotten to a point where I can run, 3, 5
Hmm.
miles, and that's not an
Yeah.
issue. But I wasn't there 6 years ago,
Right.
right?
Right.
6 years ago, I could barely walk from the front door down to the mailbox. And
Hmm.
that was the time when I was using a walker, I was using a cane. Going to the grocery store, I was using to do any kind of grocery shopping, I had to use a motorized chair. I need to turn this down. I believe I'm hearing an echo somewhere.
Hmm.
So let me just make sure this is down.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, movement isn't necessarily going out and doing a run. It could
Right. Yeah.
just be for you. It could just be
Hmm.
raising your arms above your head, or
Yep.
maybe just taking your wrist and just moving them. The idea is to move.
Move. Yeah.
Or if you can't do that, you can simply do like maybe have somebody come over and give you a massage, because
Hmm.
even a massage helps to get the lymph moving. And
Hmm.
that's the
Hmm.
idea of doing exercise, is to get the lymph moving in your body. Because when the lymph gets stagnant in your body, then of course it triggers illness in your body as well. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so movement doesn't necessarily involve running or even, raising your arms and stuff. It could simply be
Hmm.
a massage,
Yeah.
having somebody give you a nice oil massage and get that lymph flowing in your body again.
Yeah.
Because once your lymph is flowing, then your body is much healthier.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that makes sense. And
Oh,
there's a lot
definitely.
that you can do as far as the lymphatic, what they call a lymphatic drainage massage. You can
Hmm.
do, there's a lot of like tissue massage for
Hmm.
somebody who has something like lupus or MS or neuropathy, for
Right.
example.
Right. Hmm.
A massage might be the last thing, because that can be just or fibro, just a mere act of touching the
Hmm.
skin might be really painful when you have
Right.
like fibromyalgia or neuropathy.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
the movement is based on whatever that particular person's diagnosis might be.
Right.
So you have
Right.
to gauge your particular exercise or movement based on, what's good for you. For me, when I was, like I said, it started out with just gradual walking. And then
Hmm.
that built up to where I was able to train in the martial arts again. And then, I was running 3 miles, 5 miles. I built it up to, I think, 6 miles one day. So you have to, where you are at that moment,
Right. Yep. Yep.
and work from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. One of the things I did, when I first started to better take care of myself, even swimming, even walking in the pool, things like that. People would be surprised at how much energy that I usually could walk in the pool. I think I'm exerting as much energy as I am walking. And it's so much lighter, it's healthier for you, it's easier on your bones. But even just swimming, if you're just wading through the water and walking, you exert a lot of energy just to do that. You would be very surprised at how much weight you will lose just walking through the pool, treading and just maneuvering through the water with your hands, your arms. You do that for a good 30, 45 minutes and come out, wake up the next morning, you'd be like, wow. And you burn just as much energy and calories doing that as you would on a treadmill.
Yep.
Yeah. I didn't realize that until I started doing that. Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, because that's actually one of the things that I did was swimming. Did a lot of swimming, and swimming works your entire body.
It works your entire
whole body. Yeah. So if you're able to swim, then certainly try that. If not, you can, like Laurent said, just go into the pool, hold on to the edge, and just kick your legs.
Yeah.
If that's all you can do, that's better than nothing.
Yeah, and it's fun, and it makes it feel like it's lighter, but you're really exerting a lot of, because I think you're going against the water, and you're burning energy to do that. It doesn't feel like it; it just seems like it lightens your body and everything. But you're doing a good job. So it's amazing what you'll do in the pool, and you don't even realize it. But you still got to eat healthy and eat smart. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing. Yeah.
One of the things that popped into my head when we were talking about food was intermittent fasting.
Yes,
and that's one of the things I do every single month. Well, I do the intermittent fasting on a daily basis. Sometimes, like right now, I haven't eaten anything. It's now 2:45. I haven't eaten anything all day. I just had like a cup of tea. Wow. So my first meal will probably be like right after this. So, and then I will eat within, the next 4 to 6 hours. I'll eat everything that I want to eat, and then I'll be good. So intermittent fasting is basically eating all of the food you want to eat in a day in a very concentrated time period, right?
Yep.
So, but I also have a fasting period where the first, second, and third of every month I fast with nothing but water or just unsweetened herbal tea. So the first 3 days of every single month, I do that fast, and then I do the intermittent fasting throughout the day as well. And there have been 2 occasions where I've actually done a 40-day fast. One of them was 44 days, and one was 40. And that was during Lent, year before last. And then this past year, I did a 44-day fast. And let me clarify that, because everybody's going like, ooh, it wasn't, it was not the Jesus way, okay? Yes, he did
say that part.
the food, the water thing, and no, that's not how I did it. I had for the first week, the first 4 days was water, and then the next 3 days was basically herbal tea, unsweetened, and for the next week it was I think pretty much herbal tea again. The following week was smoothies with lots of fruits. But no added sugar. Just I would add in like coconut water instead of just plain water. I would add coconut water, and then the following week I would do like really watered down soup. And the one that I like to do is with garbanzo beans. I have a recipe where, and I think you've seen it with the garbanzo beans. So I would take that recipe.
Yeah, that's a good recipe.
I would take that, and then I would take a cup of the garbanzo beans and I would blend it up in the blender. And then I would add a little bit more water to that, so I could actually drink it through a straw. It's like you're drinking a really basically a garbanzo slushy, except it was even thinner than a slushy. It was like juice, really. So I did that for the remainder of the fast. So when I say I fasted, it wasn't like pure water.
Right.
But at the end of it, let me tell you, during that fast, if any of you well, I was actually talking to my pastor recently. He said,
Mhm.
"What made you want to do a 40-day fast?" And I told him, I said, I felt like I was called to do it. And he said, okay, that's good, because normally you have to be called to do a 40-day fast,
Mm.
because he's known of people who have attempted to do a 40-day fast
Mhm.
and have passed away. So
Wow,
it's
yeah.
something to take very, very seriously. Because I will
Yeah.
tell you this, when I was doing the very first 40-day fast, I was doing it because my youngest sister at the time, was battling cancer. She's since
Mhm.
passed away, but
Mm.
that was my
Mhm.
main reason for doing it. But
Right.
I did a lot of prayer when I first got this nudge to do a 40-day fast. It's like, okay, Jesus in the wilderness for 40 days, 40 nights, no water, no food. This is nuts, right?
Yeah, it's
I
tough.
really felt that I was being called to do it
Mhm.
for my baby sister. So I did, but like I outlined, it was very, very thin,
Mhm. Mhm.
watered down. And during the fast,
Mhm.
anybody who feels called to do, I'm telling you, um, you become closer to God. And I say that, I'm very serious when I say that. I don't think I've read my Bible as much as I did during that time. I don't think I've prayed as much as I did during that
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
because when the hunger pain hits you,
Yeah, you got to start praying, huh?
that's your only option. I mean, you can't go grab something to eat because you
Yeah.
are in a fast. So
Mhm.
I either went and meditated for a while, or I
Mhm.
just prayed.
Mhm.
You pray. It is definitely one of those times when your connection to God, spirit, whatever you want to call it, but for me it's God, that connection really grew, because it's the only thing that carried me through that 40 days, and
Wow.
not wanting to go and say, okay, I need something to eat,
Yeah. Yeah.
and at the time I was a vegetarian, so I was eating cheese at that time.
Mhm.
Not much of it, but I was eating a little bit of cheese at that time. But I'm telling you, that's the only thing that got me through. And when I did try to do the second one, and I managed to make it to the 40 days in the same way, when I
Mhm.
got to 40 days, I felt like, no, you need to continue for another few days. And I made it to 44. But
Wow.
it was like, yes, again, if you're looking for a closer connection to God, fasting is definitely a way to do it, because it's now you are going to lose some weight. I would not recommend you do fasting just to lose weight, because it's a really, what you're going to end up doing is, at the end of it, you're going to say, okay, I'm hungry, and you're basically going to pack it back on. So you
Right.
have to come up with a better reason to want
Right.
to fast. Okay. What fasting did for me for the first 3 days of every month, the reason why I do that is because I believe that your immune system gets a reboost or
Yes.
a reboot
Mhm.
at the end of the 3 days. So you basically deprive your body of food, not water. You keep drinking your water, but you deprive your body of food for 3 days. And what it sends a signal to your immune system that says, okay, I need to kind of reboot here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then, and I fully believe that's one of the reasons why I ended up getting better, is
Yeah.
because I started this 3-day fast years ago,
Mhm.
years
Mhm.
ago. And I realized that it is one thing that keeps me going every single month.
Yeah.
The 3-day fast, the intermittent fasting.
Mhm.
And so far this year, I haven't felt the nudge to do anything like 40 days.
Right.
But I am going to be starting one in March
Mhm.
1st, which I'll continue up until Good Friday,
Wow.
which is probably going to be I want to say maybe about 2 weeks, I think. But it's not going to be, like no food. It's going to be like watered down smoothies and watered down soups again in that way, because I do want to. I like this time of the year with Lent. That's a perfect time to start fasting. Is
Mhm.
if you consider yourself to be a Christian. When I was growing up,
Mhm.
Lent was a time when we fasted.
Mhm.
And by fasting, we mean we ate only fish. There was no
Mhm.
chicken, there was no beef. You ate only fish and your fruits
Right.
and veggies. So that's what I grew up with, knowing fasting to be.
Yeah.
But fasting can be, if you're looking to boost your health, definitely consider like intermittent fasting or doing like a 3-day fast. It
Yeah.
definitely will kick your immune system back into high gear.
Yeah.
So that's
You,
definitely.
and then one of the things that I learned during all that process for me is I began to eat and blend a lot of greens, kale,
Mhm.
different things like that, cucumbers, put all that stuff in there, a green liquid, just
Mhm.
green vegetables, no fruit, just green vegetables. That's part of that detox as well too. But I tell you, it gave my body such energy, such a boost. And you do that for a few days. But one of the things I've learned, and I always tell people this when I hear people talking about wanting to lose weight, listen, learn to eat healthy and eat smart. What happens when you begin to do that, when you put good things in your body starts telling you, when you started eating a lot of bad things, your body starts telling you, okay, I want that good stuff back. And your
Mhm.
body really gets to a point that it starts rejecting a lot of bad stuff. It
Yeah.
just makes you feel so bad. But that's after you've done a good job of rebooting your system, eating healthy, eating smart, just really trying to give your body a boost. So definitely, fasting, like you said, in prayer. But what you're doing, you're actually learning your body at the
Mhm.
same time too. And your body's telling you what it wants to be healthy. If you start listening to your body, but the main thing, one of the things that's interesting me, and when people start losing weight, they say, okay, well, I've lost weight. Well, guess what? Hopefully during that time, you figured out what your body likes, what your body doesn't like. Now you
Mhm.
need to make that a way of life. You got to have a life mental change. That's why I believe diets don't work. The minute you go off that diet, your weight goes back. When you
Mhm.
make a commitment to a lifestyle change, your body starts accepting that, and it tells you, nope, I don't want that. I want, but then you start wanting to do it. Your body just tells you what to start doing. So we have to listen to our bodies for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things you mentioned is about the green.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't realize just how important that is because
Oh my gosh, yeah.
green, if you think about the
Mm-hmm.
plants absorb the energy from the sun,
Yeah.
right? Through
Mm-hmm.
their leaves.
Mm-hmm.
You take those particular leaves and you blend them into a smoothie or whatever it is, that
Mm-hmm.
you're making. You are literally drinking solar energy. And a
Yes.
lot of people don't really think about it in that way. That is why it's so important to get out into the sun
Yeah.
to get the vitamin D from the sun because our
Mm-hmm.
body naturally pulls that in. So
Mm-hmm.
when we're drinking a green smoothie, we are literally drinking solar energy that the plants have absorbed into their leaves and
Mm-hmm.
then all of that information is
Mm-hmm.
being passed on into your body whenever you
Yeah.
drink it.
I mean, for those of us who are Christians and spiritual people, we believe we came from the earth. God made us from the earth. So that's what's good for the body, things that's naturally from the earth, greens, vegetables, all these things. This is what we're made from, and this is what keeps our bodies healthy. And if we don't begin to health, and for me, my thing is once I lost that weight, I had to make a lifestyle change. But I made a healthy lifestyle change, and it made it easier to stay on that regimen so that I can keep that weight off. Because if you don't, that weight is going to come right back on you if you don't make a mental change. That's why I believe diets don't work. Diets are usually for a period of time. Then it's like, okay, I've lost the weight, you're done. Well, if diets work, then they would make you keep that weight off, but it doesn't. You have to change the mind,
Yeah.
is what I believe. Mm-hmm.
Let me just say this real quickly for those of you who are coming on and hoping
Mm-hmm.
to see Karla.
Yeah,
Karla had some technical issues, so we're going to reschedule, but we decided to, since we're already live, we'll
yeah.
just go ahead and talk a little bit about what we do as far as our business is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Laurent, you just mentioned the mindset change, and that's huge whenever it comes to overcoming any kind of chronic illness or any kind of
Yeah,
illness. You
yeah,
have to change what's happening up here
yeah,
before you see any change in your body. And that
yeah.
was huge for me.
Yeah.
one of the things I did was I changed the words that I was using.
Oh, yes,
Instead of,
exactly.
right? Instead of
Yeah.
saying, I have lupus, I changed that to, I was diagnosed with lupus. Because the
Right.
minute you say I have or I am, you're
Yeah.
taking on ownership. Like saying
You're
I am
claiming it.
sick,
Yeah.
you're basically telling your body, okay, create sickness in the body, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you have to literally change the words that you're using in order to manifest health in your body. And
Yes.
that was a huge thing that I had to learn. I completely stopped saying, I have this, and change it to I was diagnosed with. And I was
Mm-hmm.
diagnosed with a host of things.
Yep.
But once I changed those terms, and my body's saying, okay, so you were diagnosed with it, that means that you have hopes of getting rid of it out of your body,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You have hopes of becoming healthy. And that's the other thing. I started to tell myself, I am healthy. Every day I
Right.
look in the mirror, I am healthy. And I would talk from my feet all the way up to my head. And I would give, show gratitude to my feet for carrying me around, to all of my joints that were showing no sign of inflammation. It didn't
Mm-hmm.
matter whether they were completely inflamed and I was in major pain at the time. I spoke life into my body.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Right.
that's what we have to do in everything that we do, not only for our bodies, that's for our health, that's for our mental health, that's for our spiritual health. Anything we want to do, I've learned that over time, you have to change your mind. You have to speak positive. You have to say, you can't say, well, this is hard, I can't do this. Well, that means what you're saying is you're not going to do it. You're already telling yourself you're not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? So you have to speak positivity in everything you do. And as far as your mental health, your physical health, you have to say, I can do this. I can do this dieting, or I can do this better way of eating, and I can make this lifestyle change. I can. In spite of what everything else is going on around you, you have to begin to say what you can do. Start telling your mind that. Then that becomes within your mind. And it's amazing what that does when you just start telling yourself, don't put up these roadblocks. Well, I think I can, maybe I can't. No, you have to tell yourself, I can do this. Once you do that, your body starts listening to that. Everything gets in line with just saying, I can. And it keeps you healthy. That's for business, that's for jobs, that's education, whatever you want to do. But we're talking about the bodies right now. But it's amazing. I learned a lot about my body when I started to taking care of it. It speaks back to you if you listen.
That's the thing. If you listen, because it is always talking to you. I just realized I was in the private chat rather than comments, and Empress Shatoya said hello.
Yes. Hi.
So thank you for watching. She's watching from YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, if you start to really pay attention to your body, you'll realize that it's giving you information on a daily basis as to what it likes and what it doesn't like.
And what it doesn't like. Yes, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
And
one of the things I always recommend is that people keep a food journal and start writing down what you eat on a daily basis, and write down the kind of symptoms that you might get afterwards, if you get any. A lot of people will, when they eat, maybe, well, for me, example, let's use that. I eat a slice of bread, 2 days later, I can feel it in my joints, right? Then I know that I need to do some kind of a detox. Some people may not necessarily may not get those type of signs. They might get a bloated stomach. And then they might say, oh, I'm a little bloated right now. But being bloated after eating any meal is not necessarily a normal thing. That's usually a sign that your body doesn't like what you just put into it.
Exactly.
Right. So, but some people will say, well, I must have overeaten, so I'm not going to, whatever the case is. Not realizing, no, that bloat that you're experiencing right now is actually a sign that you should not have eaten that particular thing. And your body is telling you that it doesn't like that. So find something else, put in its place. So all of those little signs that you might get, write those in your food journal. And when you start to really pay attention to all of these signs, then you'll realize, because some of the things, a lot of people say, well, I grew up eating that stuff. I've been eating that for 30 years. Yes, but is it necessarily good for you? Your body has probably been telling you for 30 years that it's not. I don't want that. I don't want that. But you're still eating it.
Time to stop.
right? And a
Don't
lot of
want
the
anymore.
things that we grew up eating aren't necessarily what we should be eating right now,
Right,
right?
right, yeah.
I know you
And
were going to say something. I butted in.
yeah, but like I said, no, I was just gonna say, I keep going back to what you were saying because, like you said, I'm the tech guy. So your body's the hardware, but the food that you put in it, like you were saying earlier, that's the software. One thing about a computer is only going to give you the information you tell it. If you don't put the right information into a computer, it's not going to give you what you're looking for. That's the thing, because I'm a programmer and I understand things from behind the scene. They talk about all these different software programs, artificial intelligence, facial recognition, things like that. Those programs can be as sophisticated as they want them to be. That just depends on the data that you feed into that particular system, into that particular program, because given the right data, the right information in, is going to give you the information out you're looking for. If you're not putting in enough correct data, that's where algorithms come in. That breaks down that all the different levels of data. That's why you hear them talking about all these big companies, data information, personal information. It's amazing what they do with so much data. They can figure out, and sometimes if you look online, you put in something, a search, you come back tomorrow, that's somehow or another in your feed, something that you referenced, you looked for
Yeah,
yesterday. Why? Because that's data you're giving it. They know your phone, they know your IP address, they know how to get information to you that says, oh, Gina, you looked at this yesterday. You're wondering, why am I keep getting these things? Is my phone this smart? They call it a smartphone, but that's people behind the scene writing the software programs and algorithms, and they're controlling the data. That's why all these companies have these data banks. You know what I'm saying? And that's what all the big wars is between Facebook and Twitter, banks and things of that sort. You hear them talking about data. Well, guess what? Data is the information you put into it, because it's going to give them better results they're looking for to market to you. If you're looking for shoes, you're going to say, why am I getting all these ads tomorrow and next week about shoes? You might be looking for boats. They feed that information out through the algorithms. That's what it is. So I like what you said earlier when you talked about, the body being the hardware and then the food being the software. So that's the same way it works when in the technology in, data out. Good data in, good data out. Well, that's how your body works. That's exactly how your body works. You know what I mean? You talk about viruses. When they talk about people hacking the systems and viruses and things like that, well, consider that all that junk food that you're eating, putting in your body. Well, your body's going to have a negative response, just like a computer would in terms of a virus. You know what I mean? So what do? They go through the software, fix viruses, updates and bugs, clean all that stuff out. That's why you have to do detoxing, do fasting, things like that. Eat green foods, good food in, better results to your body. You get energy. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm the tech guy.
That's a great wrap up right there. And that when you were talking about that, it kind of triggered something I was watching. I'm not going to mention the name of the doctor, but this particular doctor was talking about being in a room filled with people in the food industry and people in big pharma, basically. And if people really thought about, the next time you go to the grocery store and you're in the cereal aisle, and again, I'm not knocking cereal because I grew up eating cereal, but take a look now. Look at the back of a box of cereal and read the ingredients, and you'll be surprised at how many chemicals are in there. And some of the chemicals that are in this food or in these particular cereals are also chemicals that you'll find in Roundup.
Yeah.
And I did say that Roundup as in the weed killer.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can even find Roundup in a lot of the foods that are being. There's a saying: if it's made in a plant, don't eat it. If it comes from a plant, as in nature, then it's good for you.
Yeah.
For the most part, right? People do have allergies to nature. I get that. But this particular doctor was talking about being in this room filled with people in the food industry and people in big pharma, and he was saying, he was listening to a lot of the people in big pharma saying to the food industry people, you guys keep creating all of these artificial foods for people to eat and put in all of this junk and keep them sick, because what that's going to do is basically, they're going to get sent to us, and we're going to create all of the pharmaceutical medications that they're going to get hooked on and stay on for the rest of their life. This is literally a marriage between the food industry and big pharma. And then we wonder why so many people are getting sick from eating a lot of these foods that are on the shelf. And I'm not saying, again, I am not perfect. I do like some of my prepackaged foods. I do like my chips and a few other things, but you have to really be careful and read the labels and know what you are putting in your body, because a lot of these chemicals, and that includes, I talk about food, but ladies and some guys, I know some of you guys wear the makeup too. Read the chemicals that are on your makeup. And you'll see that it is said that women on average put between 300 to 500 chemicals on their skin on a daily basis.
Wow. How does your body skin fight through all those different chemicals? How does that work?
And the thing is, your skin is the biggest organ. So you put on your lotion, right? That has, I don't know how many chemicals in there. But start earlier. I mean, you take a bath that has your shower gel has all of these different chemicals, unless you're using all natural stuff, right? You can make your own natural, but I'm talking up to the general public who will buy a bottle of shower gel, and they're lathering their bodies with this, and it has, at least 30 chemicals in there. Then you come out, you dry off, you put on your lotion, which has another 30 or 40. And then for ladies, they get all of their makeup out, and you put all of that stuff on. And that has probably 200 to 300 different chemicals in there. So at the end of the day, you're literally wearing all of these chemicals. And that's what gets you sick, because you don't realize the toxic load that you're carrying on a daily basis. And if you're not detoxing, all of this has a cumulative effect in your body. It builds up and it builds up. And then, 5 years down the road, you talk about, I suddenly got sick. No, it wasn't anything sudden about it at all.
Nope.
It's been building up in your body for decades.
And you're the one that's been actually doing that, causing your body to build up by those chemicals you put on your face over and over and over.
Exactly. That's why I always encourage, there's so many companies out there that make natural makeup. Or better yet, go and experiment and make your own. I can tell you this, cacao powder makes the most delicious blush or self-tanning thing that you want to just brush over your skin. It makes the most beautiful blush, right? Or you want to do like a contour, get yourself some cacao powder or even cocoa powder, but cacao powder is best. Get yourself some moringa powder, that really pretty green. I like wearing green and brown eyeshadow. You'll notice that there's some things that I wear all the time, because some of the other colors are they're just laden with all kinds of chemicals. So experiment with nature. Get yourself a mortar and pestle, start grinding up some of these plants, and you can go to an herbalist and find a lot of these different things. If not, there's Mountain Rose Herbs, and I'm not an affiliate, but they are a reputable company. Buy some of these herbs that are reddish in color. Start grinding it up, get a nice, really, really fine powder, and start playing around with making your own makeup. It's good for your skin. It doesn't have all of the chemicals in there, and it still looks really pretty. So like I said, the toxic load that we have from just everything that goes onto our skin, and the minute you put that stuff on, I mean, your skin sucks it in. It sucks it in. That's why I have, I've got containers of different essential oil blends that I work with on a daily basis. My perfumes are all natural because I make them myself. Even though I grew up, Obsession, from way back when, I did have a bottle of Obsession. But now for the last, I want to say at least 10 years, I've been making my own perfumes using essential oils. And then I also was experimenting with different blends with to do with nerve and joint pain. So I still have those that I work with because, you know, I'm not perfect. I do have the occasional pang in the knee because I was a cross country runner for years, so I have major runner's knees there. So occasionally I do get like a pain in my right knee, so I have that I can rub on my knees. And because my son and I both carry the sickle cell trait, periodically my youngest son especially, he will get some joint pain. So I use that blend on him. But yeah, there's just so many resources out there, natural resources. All you have to do is just do some research and come up with all of this. And if you're not familiar, if you don't want to do all of the research, go onto my page. There's just so much material on there, or just send me a direct message and I can help you with that. Because that's what I do. I create blends for people who are wanting to come off of pharmaceutical medication. Some people that have contacted me have been on blood pressure medication for decades, and they just want something more natural. So I've created herbal products for them to kind of wean them off of the blood pressure medicine, right? If you're looking for more natural perfumes, you can tell me what you like, or if there's a favorite perfume that you have and you just cannot do without it, chances are I can create an essential oil blend version of it, because I've done that before. I've found, perfumes that I really like, and I've gone through and just created the essential oil version. It is not exact, but it is close enough that I love it. So if you're looking for more natural perfumes, I can help you to create something that you're going to absolutely love. If you are having joint pain, I can help you to create something that will help to alleviate that. So there's just, if you're looking for information, just message me and I can help you with all of that stuff.
Well, June, you got to tell them how to message you. Is that? That's
right. I'm on Facebook. You can find me at Gina-Welds House. That's my name there. But if you're looking for me on the lupus page, the name of my lupus page is Beating Lupus the Natural Way. I'm on YouTube at Gina-Welds House. I am on Instagram at Gina-Welds House. So there's lots of different ways that you can, different areas that you can find me. Just send me a direct message, personal message, and we can go from there. But it breaks my heart when I hear people say, I've been living with this, and this for years, and I just can't seem to get rid of it. And it's like, as soon as it's said, all of these things are going in my head, my mind starts working. And by the time that they're done, I have all of this list of things that I know will help. But the thing is, and I've learned this, I've learned to keep my mouth shut, because not everybody wants you to say, okay, this will help, or this will help, or this will help. So I kind of wait for me to be approached, because I've learned that not everybody is looking for advice. So but for those of you who are looking for the advice, there are ways of just reach out to me, and I will certainly help you in whatever area.
And just like I said, I'm the tech guy, so everything about me, I love technology. I get excited. I read a lot of different things when it comes to technology. Anything when they talk about sending up spacecrafts into the space, they're sending up satellites. They're not sending those satellites up there for nothing. There's a lot of information that they're going to be assessing that just gives them better opportunity to assess what they're doing down here on Earth. So we got some great things coming on this platform. I have some businesses that's working with me behind the scene. I've been in business now or the IT industry for over 20 years. I'm not only a network LAN administrator, but a software engineer as well too. So I've been talking to some robotics companies and a lot of different companies. They love what we're doing. They're going to be working with us. So if you want to change your career, you want to go into computers, you want to go into IT, we'll be having some good things coming up real soon on this particular platform. But that's the whole goal. That's my goal also for this platform, is I want to see where we as a people, we get more involved into IT. virtual reality, in the artificial intelligence, robotics, different softwares, things like that. And that's what my goal is to get more Black Americans into the IT industry, youth and adults. We start from youth. We work with a lot of different robotics companies and things like that. Even I was, if anybody, Gina, do you remember Dean? Let's put it this way. You may not know Dean, but I'll put it to you this way. Remember the Segway?
Yes.
Well, Dean was the one that invented the Segway. So many years back, I met Dean personally, and Dean invited me to Kennedy Space Center. He actually gave me a personal tour around Kennedy Space Center because I told him I wanted to do some things in robotics. And I took a group of kids to his first robotics competition, which is an international team. I think DARPA, the defense company, is a part of that. But they make these amazing robots. And I took a group of kids to those events. So I'm all about anything dealing with robotics, things like that. So we've got some great things coming up. So me and Gina have come together. Gina's the artist. I'm the tech guy. So we've come together and we brought this platform together to just to reach out to Black businesses and to give them an opportunity to come on. And so we're looking for a lot of good things, but we definitely want to be able to promote others as well too. So thanks for all those who are watching, and we'll see you next time. Gina?
And like I said, we have a guest coming up on Monday that you're not going to want to miss.
Yes, I forgot about that.
She's another techie. So if you're into technology, you definitely want to join us this coming Monday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We kind of changed the time because of the kind of work that she does. So she's going to be available at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So join us then. You're going to see the link come out on Facebook as well as on YouTube shortly, so that you can go ahead and just set the reminder to be here to continue that. But again, thank you so much for joining us today. I know that a lot of you probably came on hoping to see Karla, but due to technical difficulties, we're going to have to reschedule. But we decided, you know what, we can chit chat, and I think it turned out to be pretty good. Hopefully, you learned a little bit from what we had to talk about today. So, like I said, if you want to reach out to me, you have all of those different platforms that you can reach out or just send me a direct message or an email, whatever the case is. And again, also, if you're interested in technology, you can also reach out to LaRon because I know that he's got a course, a free course that he's offering. So you can reach out to him and let him know all about that. I've been doing some live art paintings.
Oh yeah,
I'm going to be doing that a little bit more. Yeah. So that's on my art page on Facebook, as well as streaming to YouTube. So if you're interested in watching me paint live, there's going to be some more information coming up on another one, because I just finished a painting this afternoon.
Beautiful painting.
Thank you. And a lot of people seem interested in me doing a lot more of that. So, but thank you so much to those of you who came on and stayed on and watched, even though, the original plan was for Karla to talk all about her unique, each individual unique genius. She will be back. We will reschedule. So, stay tuned for that.
Yep. Until then, all right, everyone, take care. Thanks again. Bye-bye.